Hello and welcome into this week's edition of the Hard Fowl. I am your host, Intern Joe Macheca. With me, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Jack Veltri. And with us this week, it is conference championship week, so we had to bring on a special guest. We have no one other than the general, Mr. Talon Cooper. Talon, how are we doing this fine Monday morning?
Doing good, man. It's early in the morning. Just getting my day started.
Yeah.
Now, Talon, let me ask, where does the general nickname come from?
I'm not sure. I think the internet pretty much came up with it. I mean, I didn't start it, so I think the internet just came up with it, and I just ran along with it. I kind of like it.
I love it.
Yeah, so Talon, thank you again for joining us, man. Always appreciate it. Getting into this past week of basketball, obviously, tough loss on Wednesday against Tennessee, and then you guys go into a tough atmosphere at Mississippi State and get the job done in overtime. Just take us through, how would you describe this past week to someone that didn't pay attention to the games or anything? Like, just how would you describe it?
Intense. I mean, it was the last final week, and the last two games it was like basically you write your own destiny. The last two games of the season. So, I mean, it was two big games that really needed, and we came away with one of them, and it came up short with one of them. So, I mean, but it's all good. Still finished second in the league. We'll tie for second in the league with other teams, but still a good season.
Yeah, Talon, absolutely. So you guys weren't able to get the job done against Tennessee, right? But then you still had to get the job done against Mississippi State. Obviously, the turnaround was pretty quickly, and the Tennessee game was a really emotional one. How did you guys kind of flush the Tennessee game and then be able to outlast Mississippi State?
I feel like it starts with our higher ups. I mean, coach just came in, gave us a motivational speech before the game, and just telling us that it's a bigger picture now. I mean, it's on to the next, and we had to look forward just to getting a win at Mississippi State, just to see where our season was going to be placed at for the SEC tournament. So that was our biggest thing.
Yeah, with that Mississippi State game, you guys had played them first game of league play all the way back in early January, right after New Year's. And one of the main things I kind of noticed was that, guys like Colin Murray-Boyle, he wasn't starting yet. Stephen Clark was still the starter. BJ Mack had struggled in that game. I can't remember how many points you had, but it wasn't anything crazy that we're kind of used to seeing. Now in Saturday's game, CMB and BJ both go off, and then the rest of the starting five, I think, played pretty well. How much of a difference do you feel like you guys made from that first game to now? Like, how far do you feel like you guys have come?
Man, from the first game of the SEC to the last game, you can see over time how we have improved as a team overall. And I mean, I couldn't be more proud of this team, of how far we came and how many people have doubted us and probably still is doubting us. But I mean, we just overcome so much adversity and all the doubters. So I just feel like, I mean, our game speaks for itself. So it's not much I can say there, but other than letting our game speak for itself.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys play Auburn in the SEC tournament. This is a team that you guys lost pretty bad to, but then again, that was at Auburn. You guys don't have to play them at Auburn in Auburn. You guys get a chance to take them on a neutral court and get to play them again too. How much does that excite you? And then also, what is this scouting report kind of for Auburn?
Well, we're not looking forward to Auburn yet. We have to face either Arkansas or Vanderbilt. So
that's right. Yeah.
So we got to play them first, but we'll see what Auburn what we got to do for Auburn. But we got to get through whoever we play first.
Yeah.
I mean, is it something like you guys like after that game? Is that like someone that you guys would really like to play again if things kind of worked out? Or
I mean, I feel like the group of guys that we have in that we lost to, we would like to play again. Whether it's Clemson, we'd like to play them again too. So it's anybody.
Yeah, that would be crazy. NCAA tournament, Clemson versus South Carolina. I don't know if that's ever happened before. So that would be
that would be crazy. Yeah,
that'd be the cherry on top to this kind of insane season. Yeah. So, going back to kind of when you first decided to transfer to South Carolina and stuff, what was it? What was the mood that you could kind of sense around the program? Was it kind of, because obviously they were coming off a really bad year last year, first year under and stuff, and a lot of new guys are joining the team. Just what was the the mood kind of like when you first came on board?
I mean, it was a lot of excitement, you know. I mean, when I first talked to the coaches, they was just excited because they just knew what type of group of guys they were recruiting, and and it just played off from there. I mean, it was just excitement, just getting everybody on board. So, I mean, I'll just say the main word I'll say is just excitement.
Yeah, Talon, you guys obviously go to a lot of women's games, and the women's team supports you guys a lot. You guys were there yesterday too, supporting in the SEC championship game. Talk me through that relationship a little bit, how you guys support each other so much, because I mean, I think that's one of the cooler things in college basketball right now.
I mean, I just feel like women's basketball don't get the attention that it deserves sometimes, and just going there, just to see, like, let people see us, and just supporting them. I mean, they're a really good team, number one team, haven't lost a game, which is ridiculous, and for them to come support us, I mean, it just says a lot about this program, how much we support each other, how much Carolina cares about each other's sports. So, I mean, just having that and having even our coaches go to each other games. So, I mean, it's just big all around.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch the title game yesterday for the women?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, what'd you think of the results this weekend?
Uh, uh, it was crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
just being there in the atmosphere and seeing all the Gamecocks fans there. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to this team and the chemistry y'all have built, I feel like, from speaking to other guys and stuff, and even Lamont, it all goes back to that trip to the Bahamas and stuff. Wanted to get your perspective on that trip and kind of just how you guys felt like it really morphed into what this season has become.
Yeah, I mean, you know, on the trip we was all trying to still figure each other out, and we did everything together. We went snorkeling and we did all type of like team activities, and I just feel like that just bonded us and made us come together and just try to see another side of each other, if that makes sense. So, I mean, I just feel like that just played a big part in playing against other people and seeing what everybody else can do. It was just special, and this is a great time.
Are you someone that's big into snorkeling or going in the water or nah?
Nah, not really. I'm not a big fan. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of scared because I'm like not a open water type of person, and I just have like these imaginations that a shark is up on me the whole time, so I just be trying to get up out of there.
Yeah. BJ screwed everyone over that we interviewed too, because he said everyone was afraid to get in the water, that we need to ask everyone about the Bahamas trip. So it's kind of funny just hearing how you guys talk about that trip. It seems like one that really, really brought you guys together. And it seems that like Jack, you guys talked about the culture of this team. It's made it, into March and into the tournament. Can you talk me through like how much culture, or how far culture goes in a season, and how much that means to you guys to kind of keep it so tight knit?
Yeah, I mean, culture. I mean, that's the foundation that we've tried to build on since Coach had brought all of us in. I mean, I feel like also it's the key part is having an older group of guys that can help you, that's played in a lot of games that can help you build on what you're trying to put down. And I just feel like the group of guys that he's brought in, including myself, has put that foundation down, and just hope that it just continues throughout South Carolina men's basketball.
Yeah. And I do want to follow up on that, because you brought up experienced guys, and nowadays, we're kind of seeing a shift away from the one and done in college basketball, right? You're a veteran transfer. How much does that help? And obviously, you guys do have a really, really good freshman in CMB and Colin Ray Boyles. But how much have you seen that kind of shift, and then how much of an advantage is it to be a veteran guard on a team, and that you kind of see just coming from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, guys are just, I don't know, trying to stay longer in college. I mean, it's a one lifetime experience. You don't get college back ever in life. So, but just having experience, I mean, it's great. I mean, you got me, BJ, Steven, Miles, Michi, Jacoby, and and it's just reflecting on how CMB is playing. You see how good he's been playing these past few games. I mean, just having guys like that, and they just lead and show the younger guys how the college game work, and just especially like late game, and just having experience, just be able to play, and just, I mean, it just helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going through, obviously this is your first year at Carolina and stuff, and going through SEC play, what's the biggest thing that you've kind of learned, I guess, as a team, but also on a personal level, of going through that sort of competition?
As a team, I feel like it showed that we can compete with anybody, no matter who it is in the country. And individual level, um, I'm not sure. I couldn't give you an answer on that one. I mean, basketball is basketball at the end of the day. It's something I've been doing my whole life, so it's same old to me.
Absolutely. Talon, you played at Minnesota a little bit before this. Where do road games in the SEC stack up to road games in the Big Ten? I'm from Indiana, currently here on spring break, and I know all the lore of IU and Purdue. Where does that stack up between the two?
Oof. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
That's actually a good question. So I didn't get to play at Indiana, but I got to play at Purdue, and that was probably one of the craziest, other than Auburn.
Yeah.
So I say it matchups pretty well.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I've got a bunch of buddies at Purdue, and they're always telling me it's like, oh, basketball is not as good in the SEC and stuff like that. I'm like, you see what Auburn was doing in their kind of home stretch and what we're doing at Colonial Life as well. That atmosphere is really good. I guess kind of worked my segue in there, but Colonial Life has been jam-packed, and obviously you guys don't get the chance to play in front of those fans, but how much did it mean to be able to play in a packed house week in and week out?
I mean, that's just something you dream about as a kid, playing in front of 18,000 as it holds, that's just something you dream about as a kid. And I just couldn't have been more blessed to be able to come home and play in front of a crowd like that. It's just a blessed opportunity to have that. And I just want to shout out the fans because they just showed out this year, and what a better way to have it than to have a CLA pack. Yeah.
Definitely. How much do you feel like going into a week like this, where you could be, potentially be playing 4 games in 4 days against some of the, whoever it might be? It's probably at some point you're going to have to play the best teams in the SEC to get to where you want to go. How much is experience, that some of y'all have under your belts? While it might not be like SEC tournament experience, it's college basketball experience. How much does that kind of help in this run?
I mean, it's gonna help a lot. I mean, because a lot of us know what it takes to get past. Because March is all about surviving. It's just surviving, and I think like that's the biggest thing right now is just trying to survive and make it to the next round. And but experience plays a big part of it too. Just having older guys, knowing the game, knowing how tournaments work in general, whether it's mid-major, high major. So just having experience will be fun.
Yeah. Absolutely, and it obviously playing that many games can be tough on the body. You guys have a week off this week, as you head to Nashville, you prepare almost a week off. I think playing on Thursday, practice Wednesday. So, how much does this kind of short little break before the tournament ramps up? How much does that help?
It helps a lot. Get to rest your mind, rest your body, just a little reset before we get into these games and stuff. But I feel like playing this SEC tournament is going to help us for March Madness because, it's back-to-back games and just, hard teams, So it's just going to prepare us for when the big picture comes around.
That's a good point.
Has it felt real that you guys we're now saying like March Madness? Like it's not like a few weeks ago. It's like, oh, maybe it'll be March Madness, but we're not too sure yet. Has it kind of like set in yet that like it's more likely than not going to happen?
I mean, yeah. It's something we all talked about at the beginning of the season that all of us want to go to March Madness, win championships. But now that it's here, it's just like, man, like we're so close to doing it. So it's just nothing but a blessing. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And how does that, does this tournament that you guys are going through, like obviously it's back-to-back tournaments and stuff, but does going through the SEC tournament like kind of like I don't know if like prepare or get you ready for what's to come in March Madness. Is that kind of what you're feeling, or?
No, most definitely. I think it'll definitely help us prepare for what's upcoming for March Madness. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and how do you guys just prepare for a random opponent that's gonna like that you guys are gonna play? Like, I mean, it's just with March Madness especially, like no one knows who's gonna play who, and it's going to be some random mid-major, maybe it's a conference champion. I mean, what's your take on it?
They'll tell us on Selection Sunday, and coach will come up with a game plan. We just try to follow as best as we can and go from there.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Talon, I did have a question just because obviously you play point guard, you play a lot of defense. I famously tweeted that I would hate to wake up on a Tuesday and get guarded by Talon Cooper. And so defense is a very, very big part of your game. And, you're oftentimes seen on the primary ball carrier. Walk me through like that and how much defense or how important defense is to you.
Yeah. So coming in as I was getting recruited here, they talked to me a lot about trying to be the best defender on the team, and I feel like I just took pride in it and just went along with it and just trying to be the best defender I could be. I just feel like if you could defend anybody, you can play anywhere in the world. So I just took pride in that and just try to play my heart out and just try to guard you and try to stop you from scoring.
Yeah,
absolutely. I like it.
Going back to Tennessee, this is something I was meaning to ask you about last week, but you might have gotten a question about it in the post game interviews and stuff. What was senior day like?
Senior day was.
And did you cry? Did you cry? That's the second part of the question.
No, I didn't cry. I didn't cry.
Hey.
So the only reason I would have cried is my mom had cried. So, but I didn't cry. She didn't cry, so it was all good. But I don't know. Senior day was fun. I enjoyed every bit of it. Just getting the recognition, playing my last game in CLA. It was just amazing because, like I said, like before, it was like my last time playing there was in high school. So my last time playing there in college is pretty special. So
yeah, was it did it feel like it kind of just like obviously the season's not over, but in terms of playing at like CLA and stuff, do you feel like it just like flew by? Because obviously you're a Dorman kid and stuff. You went to Dorman and you get to come back home and do it all for 1 year. Did it just how did it feel?
It just felt like yesterday we was running the hills. That's how fast it went by. So it was crazy.
That's wild.
Talon, just a few more before we get you out of here. Speaking of Tuesdays and stuff, where did this whole Talon Tuesday idea kind of come from?
So it was kind of just really random. They had handed me the mic one time to ask about I think it was songs or something. It was something about Christmas or whatever. And then they brought it up to me. I was like, hey, we're going to start doing something on Tuesdays every Tuesday. How do you think about that? I was like, that's fine. Whatever. But now that it's here, everybody loves them. So we just keep it going and try to make everybody laugh and see another side of the team. So.
Yeah, definitely. And, with so much important basketball coming up, what's it going to kind of take for you guys personally, whether it's offense, defense, something specific there to kind of make do and make a run, whether it's in the SEC tournament or next week in March Madness?
Yeah, I'm pretty stats will tell you that we're a defensive team. We hold teams on 65. We won't probably lose that game. So I just said keyword just playing defense and obviously put the ball in the hole, but just defense. If we could just play defense and hold teams to under their team average, I feel like we'll win any game.
Yeah, and does it also kind of help that the disrespect factor is probably still out there somewhere where people are saying, oh, South Carolina is a 5 seed, they're not going to have a chance they got to go through Auburn potentially, they might lose that game. Does that kind of help?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's always good to have fuel to the fire. We've been underdogs this whole season, so what's the point of stopping it now?
Yeah, totally, man. Before we get you out of here, just wanted to ask, what does in your 1 year here, what has Garnet Trust kind of meant to you?
It meant a lot. They help players, NIL, and it's just been great, nothing but love, and I just really appreciate Garnet Trust.
Yeah, absolutely. Sweet. Well, that will do it with our interview with Talon Cooper. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you shortly before the SEC tournament.